When you first turn on the Klic-N-Kut Maxx or Groove-E, you'll get this display panel that says ACS at the top, and then there will be a V and an F. The V is the cutting velocity, which ranges from 50 to 600 in roughly 12 different increments. And then the F is the cutting force, which it's a nominal scale that goes from 1 to 160, which represents the range of pressure from very low up to the full 950 grams of cutting force. To change these values, you just use these plus and minus buttons over here. If I need to increase the velocity, I just press the plus button here, or bring it down using the minus button. Same thing for the force. I'm just using the left and right plus buttons and minus buttons in order to change the force. Now then, one thing to check when you're a new owner, when you're first on the machine, press the menu button one time. When you press the menu button one time, it's going to bring up a menu that's going to show the US and the BR values. The US is the speed at which the blade travels when it's in the up position. In general, I recommend that you leave that fairly high. I have mine set at 500. If you ever have problems with that you feel that the mat is skewing or something due to the fast traveling of the mat in and out of the machine, then you can come in here and bring that down. But be very careful with the BR rate. The BR is the baud rate. And when you first get your Maxx or Groove-E, it probably will be set to 38,400. It needs to match the baud rate that's in the software, which is set at 57,600. So press this left plus button one time, and you can increase the baud rate up to that 57,600. Then press the menu 2 more times to return back to the main menu. Now you will notice that when I press twice, you'll see this set per and an XP and YP. These are calibration settings for the machine, but you don't want to change those. Just leave them the way they are, because any calibration can be done within the software. And again, just press menu until you get back to the ACS window. Now this is all in online mode. Okay, when you press the green button one time, it takes you to the offline mode, and you'll notice it says X0 and Y0. That's because the machine, this is where it says that the origin is. However, what you want to do is set the origin in the front right corner of the material you're going to cut. So in order to do that, you're going to now use these same plus and minus buttons in order to get your blade tip or your pen tip to the front right corner. By using this top plus and this minus button, you can roll the mat in and out of the cutter, and then the left and right buttons, or the left plus and right minus, will move the blade carriage left and right. And so you just press these buttons until you get the pen tip to the front right corner. Then you press this middle button right here. This middle button is the button that sets the origin, and then you should see X0, Y0. Always make sure you see that before you then execute your cut. While offline, there's a test button over here. When you press the test button, the purpose of that is to draw or cut a test ring so that you can make sure you got a clean cut before you continue. There's another button here, repeat. When you click the repeat button in offline mode, it will repeat the last cut that you sent from your computer as long as you haven't turned off the machine. Now, if you turn off the Klic-N-Kut, then it's going to lose all of that information. But as long as you haven't turned it off, again, it will repeat the last cut. And this can be very handy when you need to cut multiples of the same thing over and over. In fact, you can go ahead and you can just shut down your computer or just close Klic-N-Kut Studio and be working on email or whatever, and you'll still be able to sit here and just keep using the repeat button to repeat the last cut. Finally, if anything goes wrong, use this pause button. During a cut, if you suddenly realize you're cutting off of your material or the blade's got hung up on something or whatever, you press that pause button, it will stop the cutter, and then you can turn off the cutter and then start over again.